Well, here we are, another foggy, summery kind of day here in San Francisco. And we're now up into the 100s each day of new cases of COVID. We were down into the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. Now we're in the hundreds. Yesterday it was almost 200. The day before it was a little over 200 new cases. And the reason is because the people, they can't master three things: having a mask when they go outside, keeping 6 feet from anybody else, and washing your hands when you come home. But because of the people, they think better that they don't need to do this. So now when I go out, I see about 3/4 of the people not wearing masks, or it's down around their nose is open. You can't make this shit up. Something so simple to get out of lockdown. All they have to do is three things, and humans just can't do it here in the US. Now, why is that? Is it because we have such a macho thing going? We're it's so worried about machoism and patriotism and all this isms that we're just not going to do it, because we don't do what the experts say, because we don't believe in science. But the thing is, worldwide, there's an environmental disaster happening right now. Right up here, we're going to go out and get some more information on this, but it's not looking good for our planet. Humans have time to fix things, but if they can't even handle putting a mask on right, distancing 6 feet, and washing your hands when you get back, don't touch your face, not going to do it. That's science, and we don't believe in that. But we'll sit there on the phone all day, texting and clicking and pushing all day on technology and science, but yet they won't acknowledge the science of the mask, the washing of the hands, and the distancing of 6 feet. So, just like in the past, when pandemic and plagues come, it takes years. So now, the scientists and the experts and the doctors are saying it could take as much as 10 years to get through this, because of the stupidity of the human species at this time. Guys, we've got 3 pages to get through today. A lot going on. Well, let's first go to the US Drought Monitor and look at what's happening. As you can see, drought is coming on quickly here in the US. This is about the fastest I've ever seen it come on. I can definitely tell in California there's been a drought for years, but it's really getting dry these days. The air dries out to where your mouth gets all dried out, you know. So as we're thinking about the drought and other environmental problems, let's go look at a couple of problems locally in local areas. A crash in shark numbers. Out of 69 reefs, almost no sharks were detected on a new world study about shark numbers. So what they have concluded that the world's sharks and rays are on the brink of extinction. That's disgusting. And you know why? Overfishing. Because humans insist on eating meat. Fish, which is meat, is overfished all over the world. And to keep you eating fish means that we have to make other species extinct just so you can eat fish. That's the reality of it, people. Humans kill over 1 million sharks each year in nets that they got, where sharks get caught in nets and drowned. They get towed backwards or can't swim to have water go over their gills, so they literally drown. Nice way of dying, just so you can have your fish. Let's go down to the Antarctic and look at something that just started. The Earth is getting closer to a multiple tipping point. In other words, there's multiple tipping points going on at one time. In the Antarctica, a new methane leak has been detected coming out of the ocean, and the methane is strong enough to where it is making it all the way through the water column and into the air. So if we do have multiple tipping points, this will make it so that humans will not be able to control what happens after that. No matter what they do, it'll be too late. And yes, that's a plane. Don't hear those too often still, since California is back down into lockdown. We're still suffering over the 4th of July super spreader event. Of course, what we talk about a lot on this channel, the reason we talk about a lot of this is because I'm going after the biggest problems, and I'm going after the smallest. But the faster we fix the bigger problems, the quicker we can get on the smaller problems. 1.3 billion tons of plastic in the environment by 2040 is what is being predicted. This is the first comprehensive assessment of what the picture could be in 20 years. That's about 3 inches of plastic waste coating the planet by 2040. About 3 inches. That's amazing. Even over in the UK, where they seem to keep everything nice and clean, the River Thames has an estimated 94,000 microplastic particles per second running down the river every day. The biggest problem now is the single-use plastic from PPE, masks, and other single-use items that are now required to control the pandemic. Another problem, over in India, they serve tea. They used to serve it in mud cups that were fired. After their use, they'd throw them out the window, and they would break down and turn into soil because they were made of mud. Now, of course, they use plastic, and India is becoming coated and will probably be the first country which is literally coated with plastic. Microplastic, big pieces of plastic, sheet plastic, PPE, masks, they're all becoming quite the problem. But if people would just do the 3 or 4 steps that is required to get rid of the pandemic, then we wouldn't need all this PPE thrown into the garbage. And as you know, many of the wealthy countries ship their garbage to the unwealthy countries, where they just end up picking through it and taking the good stuff and throwing the rest in the ocean. And they actually do call this recycling. People are getting bored these days. They need something to do, since not many people are working. I've always wondered if you could see into the future. First of all, what would the planet look like in another 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years? To get into one of those time machines and go forward and see what the planet would end up looking like after the end of humans. Would it be nuked out? Would it be trashed out? Would there be white bones everywhere you went? Something like that, huh? If people need something to do, they could come up with a different way of making plastic that's recyclable or reusable or no plastic at all, and go with bioplastics instead. If we keep going with the way we are going, in the very near future, the Earth won't need any more flags. There'll be plastic flags strewn from one end of the planet to the other. I sure have said this enough, but people have the intelligence to fix such minor problems as the environment, global climate change, plastic, and all this, since we can figure out a computer screen in just minutes. Why can't we figure out the basics? Why are basic problems so hard for humans to look into and fix on their own? They require that the governments do it, and then they bitch and moan when they do it. Yeah, pretty dry here, a lot drier than it's been before. You know, when the invasive species start dying out, you know that we're in a drought. In my past videos, as you know, I've shown every fall here in California. We're not even close to fall. We're still in summer, mid-summer. and things are already drying out and dying. About every fall I start showing you dead trees and dead bushes and dead flora of all kinds because of the drought. But the world keeps regenerating itself and making anew. Let's hope it can handle humans with their 3 inches of plastic particles all over the planet. Of course, this is an easy fix. You just use recyclable material like metals. Wood is renewable if you do it in a correct, sustainable way. And bio bags for shopping, cloth bags for shopping with handle, and that will help on the garbage that's piling up. They say that a lot of cloth that has cleaning fluids on it is being thrown out and ending up in the ocean, causing huge soap slicks on the ocean and causing more pollution that way. These sanitizing wipes don't work nearly as well as just soap and water. That's the best fight you can do, is soap and water for 20 seconds to fight COVID on your hands.